Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Chester State Park around 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chester around 7:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other locations impacted by this dangerous thunderstorm include Leeds, Cornwall, and Edgemoor. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This cluster of storms is capable of producing tornadoes and widespread significant wind damage. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the following county: Chester, South Carolina.
Heading into uptown Charlotte, because this is the worst of the storms that we're seeing pass through the area. This is where we're finding the most intense gusts. We're seeing gusts here more than 60 miles per hour within this little groove that is passing over 121. Now let me pull back out so we can just get an overview of this line, as it is going to be passing very close to Charlotte. Within the Charlotte metro region, we've already seen some gusts around 40 miles per hour. I'm going to put a pause right here and just come back down so we can show you where we're seeing some of the most intense downpours and really this line beginning to race. So moving over Lake Norman, not seeing anything severe, but we're getting some 40-mile-per-hour gusts here out over Lake Norman this morning, and very intense downpours. This stretches to the south into Gastonia, into Clover, passing over 321, and where we have that a little bit of that groove that I was talking about here, that is just to the west here of Chester County. Now I'm going to pull up our storm tracker here, our velocity I should say, just to see if we do see any of that rotation. At the very least, some very intense winds. And this is the area that I was talking about right here. This is actually where we are seeing a bit of that rotation with this storm. And that is why they did put out this tornado warning. Now let me check and see if there's been any sort of update. There has not. So we are going to keep on this here, and this is going to be moving very quickly off to the north and east, pushing along 121 towards Chester. And let me put that track up for you so you can see once again. So that is going to be moving over Chester here in the next really 15 minutes or so. Denver by 7:53, into Knox by 7:57, and then into Richburg at just after 8 o'clock. Let me pull back out here to show you, though, even though we were talking about their potential for some tornadoes within this line, see what's breaking up a little bit. That is going to be something that we're watching in this environment into the Midlands, where we are seeing some more of those intense thunderstorms, and the storm is really breaking away. You don't want that, because that is able to soak up a little bit more of that energy. Within that main line, we see that some of these storms here rotate, but they move so fast here off to the east that they are usually very quick. If it is some sort of tornado, it is very quick here, drop down, and then it will pick back up. So usually by the time some of these warnings are issued, they are also going to be cleared. Doesn't look to be the case here with this one, because we are not seeing any more of those updates. But this storm is going to be riding further to the east, and it's something we'll be watching for the Charlotte metro area as some of those stronger gusts are picking up. Let me pull up our wind gusts right now, just our map, just to show you what we're looking at with those gusts here. We had a gust around 40 miles per hour for Charlotte. You can see the pink there, that's indicating 45 to 50 mile per hour gusts. And within Chester County, for Chester, the city here, 23 mile per hour gusts, the latest 24 mile per hour of a gust here in Rock Hill. those winds overall are going to be pretty strong within that main line. And our severe threat here is actually going to increase the further east we get. So that's where we have the warmer temperatures, and we're also going to see just a touch more of that instability here with that moisture streaming in pretty steadily out of the Gulf. That severe threat, that level 3 threat, is for areas over Anson, Richmond, Chesterfield counties, and that is going to continue here through really late morning into the early afternoon hours. Let me pull back out to that main line, though, and see if we're seeing anything else. Yeah, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings now along that line. But again, through parts of the Midlands here, so south of Columbia, we have another area that we're looking at for some rotation. This is just crossing over near Lexington. That's going to be passing to the north and east here towards Irmo. A little bit further to the north into Chester, you can see that is that little broken segment within this line right here. This is the area that we're looking at, and I'm going to zoom in really closely here so I can just call out some areas, some roads. You definitely don't want to be traveling along 77. If you know someone who's trying to get into work this morning, you want to tell them that they need to get to a shelter here. You don't want to be traveling into or in the path of this storm. Now, I'm going to put the velocity back on, and this is just checking, just showing where those winds are within the storm. And again, not seeing anything. Well, yeah, actually a little bit tight here. So yeah, let me pull in right here. So this is to the south of you in Sandy River. If you're in Evans, Cornwall, this is going to be passing very close to you. So crossing again over 321 and really staying along a path here near 121. And that track, I'm going to make sure this is the right, this is moving very quickly. So let's see. Yeah, definitely moving a lot faster right now. So we're going to put this right here. So that will be moving over Evans here about 7:38, close to Orrs by 7:44, and close to Knox here by 7:47. So we are seeing some rotation, just getting a little bit of that wiggle here within the line of this thunderstorm, or of this line of thunderstorms that has been intensifying. So pulling back to our updates here, and I don't know if we have any more reports of, we have our power outages map up. Maybe our producer can pull up some cameras and we can see if we have any cameras here in Chester County just to see where this storm is. If you're in Baton Rouge, you may be under that tornado warning, but this is to the south of you that we're watching. Chester, you definitely want to stay in your safe place. Cornwall, Orrs, you as well. Now so let's pull this back out. Yeah, I can see a bit of that rotation right there. So this is the area that we're watching. Let me pull up our little tracker. So it's right here. That's the area that we're watching with that cell. So that is going to be crossing over 321 within the next couple of minutes. And that will continue on that path here to the north and to the west as this really takes off. And actually, we've seen more of that bowing structure as well south of that line. So let me pull this back to show you right now. So this is our storm tracking onset. This really shows turbulence. So it's showing where we're seeing some of the strongest winds. And within that line, that's actually crossing very close to Chester right now. We're likely getting some intense gusts here for you, seeing that this is the area that we're looking at with the onset of some of those more intense winds. And this is going to be moving again off to the north and east here. If anyone has anything else that you are seeing, have you guys checked in with any of the counties here to see if we're getting any reports, or even some of the city management, emergency management? That would give us a good idea of what we're looking at. So let me pull this back out for you, and we will look again at some of let's pull up some more. This is a little bit difficult to see in general in terms of any sort of debris, and not seeing that with this storm. Again, mostly those very intense winds is what we're looking at. So with our wind speed, our direction, at the very least, that is going to be something that we're seeing with the storm, are those intense gusts. But this storm is definitely rotating. Again, haven't gotten that next scan here. It takes a couple of minutes to do that complete scan, but this is south of Sandy River, so it is going to be crossing over Chester at Cornwall. Let me call out some other city names that are close by. Evans, going to be coming very close to you, and also into Knox and Richburg. That is also going to be within the path here of this cell that's rotating. Haven't seen any other warnings that have been issued here. This warning goes on for another 10 minutes, and looks like they will probably let this ride out. Let's see. Yeah, and looks like the other warnings that we're seeing are actually just south here of this main line. Let's see. Yeah, into the Columbian metro area. So within the Midlands, we're also seeing more of that rotation. This is likely going to be the case over the next couple of hours here as we see these thunderstorms intensify, and it's going to be worse here into central North and South Carolina, and especially closer to the coast. In terms of let's pull this back out here. If you're just tuning in, our severe threat here for today, really lining up very close to 77. So we're talking about where we're going to see that severe threat increase here, and where we do have the potential for some isolated tornadoes. Right now, nothing confirmed with that tornado warning. This is for Chester County, and it continues for another 10 minutes here. Just to the south in Columbia, we actually have 2 warnings. So we're seeing within this line, see how that's just that little broken structure right here. That is where we're watching for the potential rotation. Again, nothing confirmed with this storm right now. Let me pull back up. This is shear, so this is showing if there is a little bit of rotation, and we are seeing just a little bit of that before, but they called the tornado warning here for tornado possible as it moved into Chester County. So pulling back on our velocity again, just to see if we're still picking up. Yep, there it is. Let me circle it for you. This is the area that we're watching. So south of 121 and to the west right now here of 321 is going to be riding just to the south or very close to you in Chester. And next path here, that would be over Evans. So if you're in Evans, if you're in Orrs, if you're in Richburg, you want to make sure that you are in a safe place here. Stay away from the windows. Definitely put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We have a special weather statement here that came out. This is just for, in general, the rest of the line. Let me show you that. So yes, that's that broken segment. That's moving over Chester right now. And you can see the intensity here of these thunderstorms as they push off to the east. And this line has been causing wind damage, or in general, this line of thunderstorms has been causing wind damage across really the southern plains and the deep south. And it continues here, even though it's 7:30 in the morning. You usually don't see this many tornado warnings at this time, but this event here is going to be something that we will have to keep an eye on through the next few hours. Now that warning continues for another few minutes, and we are still seeing some rotation. And I think that Lauren and Chris, have you guys seen any sort of damage reports coming out from emergency management?
Not so far.
Chester County?
Not on X so far, but I'm sure as you said, the morning goes on, people probably aren't outside taking photos right now if it's
absolutely
right in the area. But I'm sure that those will start to roll in pretty soon. But I mean, this is covering a wide area, Nicole.
Yeah, we are covering a really wide area here, and we are going to keep watching for this storm. You know, we haven't actually seen, it looks like we just got a discussion here about possibly putting out a tornado watch, which is something that would be likely for the Midlands, and that will stretch into North Carolina, probably all the way to the coast and continue through the afternoon. So that looks more likely. I'll just read this out to you too as we watch as that line pushes a little bit further to the east. So yeah, really that the environment is rapidly changing. We have a lot of moisture, very different from the winter forecast that we have seen the last couple of weeks, where it gets very, very chilly. We actually have this very cold air that's going to be sliding in behind, and that is why we're actually seeing this clash here of air masses. Very cold above, and we have this stronger wind shear. So it is giving us some of that rotation here. Even though this isn't a typical spring-like storm where you're expecting temperatures nearing 80 degrees, it feels even muggy. Not necessarily the case, but our dew points here with that moisture is closing in here on 60, which is for this time of year and really this area here of the country. That is where we are primed to see some of these storms really start to really expand and intensify as well. Again, not hearing anything. I'm going to stay with this just for another minute or so. So really just want to make sure that we're good. Let's see. Let's see here. So just saying, this is known as a QLCS line. So this is just basically showing you that this is an intense line of thunderstorms, and where we're seeing the break, that's where we could see some potential rotation, which is what we were saying. So moving over Chester right now, I'm going to pull that velocity tracker up one more time, and then we'll likely send this over to our break here, because it looks like they're just going to let this one ride out, and haven't seen any of those damage reports yet with this cell in particular. So let me pull back that little marker for you, and showing over Chester again. We're looking at that notch here, which it doesn't look quite as intense as what we saw earlier, so that's good. But again, some very intense gusts here as this does move now over 321. We'll put one more track on it for you. That is, let's see here. Yeah, keeping an eye on it. It's going to be moving into Lancaster County now. So let me put that on and show you as well. I'm going to pull this back up. So this is a look here at where we're seeing that little bit of that kink in that line, or that little curve. And when those bend out in that way, that's showing some of those intense winds. Usually it's right before it speeds up. So it is going to be moving very quickly. I'll put our track on again here just to see if we're seeing any rotation with our shear. And there is definitely a bit of rotation as this moves just over Chester here, just to the south of Chester, over Evans. And this is going to be traveling to the north and east here towards 77. So again, if you know anyone who jumped on the highway here heading into work, maybe heading into Charlotte or into Rock Hill from the south here, maybe jumped over from Great Falls, or even if you are in Richburg, you want to let them know they got to get off the road here because this cell is rotating. Let me put on again our storm onset. And again, this is a good track to show you where we're seeing more of those intense winds. This is actually a look at really the turbulence in the atmosphere and where we are seeing some of that rotation. Problem is we're a little far away from our radar site. So we see the rotation here in the upper layers or mid layers here of the atmosphere, not necessarily on the ground, but there is potential here that with this rotation that it could be a tornado. But again, since we haven't heard any of those damage reports, not as of right now, not likely the case. And hopefully we don't hear any of those damage reports either. Let me pull back here. I'm going to go and reset and show you that entire line again and show you where we're seeing some of those reports of tornado warnings further south into Columbia, through into Irmo, Lexington, and see that break here is where we have that other area. So we're looking right here. So that is just outside of South Congaree, and then further to the north, also seeing that break. So that's what we're watching for with some of these thunderstorms. So Lancaster County, looks like kids are trying to head into school, which is, again, if anyone was questioning why they canceled school today, this is why. We're seeing those really intense gusts, potential for tornadoes embedded within this line. That's why they canceled school altogether, because these gusty winds on their own could cause some issues here with any sort of high terrain vehicles, and we have these intense downpours. So 2 more minutes on this warning. Looks like they're going to continue to watch it. I will be passing into another National Weather Service office too, I believe, which would be moving into Lancaster County. So let's see if there's any other information here coming through. Not at the time here, but just saying severe potential increasing for areas along and east of 77. I'm going to put one final track on this storm for you. Let's pull this out. So this is moving pretty quickly here off to the north and east. So that's moving out of Chester, and that is going to be moving here near into Lancaster County. That will be near Knox in the next couple of minutes, into Richburg by 7:53, into Lansford by 8 o'clock. And if that rotation holds on here, coming close here, should be passing just north here of Lancaster by 8:10, where it is going to cross over into North Carolina after that point. So we've got our last scan in, and this expires in a minute. I have no reports that they're going to continue with this. So we will stay on it, and it looks like they're going to put in a severe thunderstorm warning. Would not be surprised to see if they put a severe thunderstorm warning along this entire line, as it is going to be producing some of those gusty winds, especially as it passes east of 77 here. So within the next couple of minutes, this line is going to be moving over 77, and there we go. They let that warning cancel, but you can see the break within this line, and we are going to keep an eye here on this on these thunderstorms over the next few hours. If you can manage to stay home here, just hold tight. We will see conditions improve, at least in terms of that severe sense, but gusty winds will continue over the course of the afternoon. We'll send it over to you for more information.
All right, thank you so much, Nicole. That was a lot. You're working hard over here.
A little bit of a marathon, but that's why your chief meteorologist keeping us up to date. All the NWS offices currently updating us on the conditions, and we're going to go ahead and toss it to break and continue to update you guys on this weather system moving through our area.
WCCB News Rising on Charlotte's CW.
It is just about 8:29, and Rising is back with a live look at road conditions. This is in Monroe and Union County. It looks like the rain has at least lightened a little bit there. You can see, though, traffic backed up pretty well there on the highway. So if you're headed out, make sure you leave with plenty of time and a little bit early and take it slow this morning. We do want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Nicole Madden for the latest on your WeatherWise forecast. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. Well, we have this low pressure system here that's moving off towards the upper Midwest, and along with that, and this very strong system here, is that cold front that's beginning to push into the region. Now, ahead of that is where we find that line of thunderstorms. Tornado watch in effect until 1 o'clock for all of our counties east of 77, but we're already seeing that line pass through, and that is where we're finding those severe storms here this morning. We do have a line of really within this line, we're seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for you in Rowan County, Salisbury, the worst of the storm moving through right now. They actually just expanded that severe thunderstorm warning further to the south in Cabarrus County, Concord, south here. We're seeing this stretch into eastern Mecklenburg County, so on the east side of Charlotte into Mint Hill. Midland, you're up next here with those thunderstorms knocking on your door, moving over Monroe and Highway 601. And for you in Pageland, you'll see these thunderstorms within the next really 10 minutes. Now, these storms are moving very quickly as expected here, as we are going to see this line continue to move off to the east. You'll notice there is a tornado warning right now just outside of Greensboro. What we're seeing within this line are these little breaks, and that's where we have these very intense winds, and we are seeing some of that rotation. That's really indicative of some of that rotation this morning. Although we haven't had any reports here of major damage or any sort of damage at this point, there still is potential for this line to rotate as it pushes east, which is why we were saying really east to 77 is where we will see really the worst of this storm in terms of those damaging wind gusts and also the potential for some of those embedded tornadoes. This line will be crossing into Schwab by 9:34, Rockingham by 9:44, and from there that severe threat will be ending, but the gusty winds continue on. We're seeing right now gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. We'll keep tracking for you, and we have the latest future track coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Nicole, thank you. As these storms continue to move through the area, we've got meteorologist James Scott out live this morning. James, are you still in Rock Hill, and how's it looking?
Yeah, still in Fountain Park Place or Rock Hill, and I got to tell you, conditions improving by the minute, as Nicole mentioned. Yeah, this is really a quick-moving system. Now, things really got nasty between 7:30, 7:45, really just after we saw that tornado warning expire in Chester County. Again, the winds are calming down, at least for now, and the rain is as well. In fact, we have some friends joining us behind us here. Got some Canadian geese. It's really just been a great morning, to say the least, if you're an aquatic bird, ducks, geese, yeah, all the like there. And honestly, it's a sign of the times. These snowbirds flying back north as these temperatures get warmer behind this system. Yeah, it's still going to be windy 30 to 40 miles per hour. Obviously, that can cause some problems, but until that front really does move through, they're mainly going to be out of the south and west. That's a big reason why we should see highs near 70 this afternoon. So again, there's a reason we're seeing these Canadian geese starting to move back towards the north. It's because it's getting warmer. Follow me here, by the way, JMO. We're talking about these trees also starting to bloom. I believe that's the notorious Bradford pear, that I should say. That's the tree that, smells a little bit as you walk out the door. So the good news is also with this rain, it should help the pollen counts, at least momentarily. The thing is, with this wind moving through over the next couple of days, it may help that pollen spread again. At the same time, it is going to be a little bit colder behind this system, but as temperatures warm back up, heading into next weekend, expect those pollen counts to rise again. So in short here, yes, things got nasty in the Rock Hill area to say the least, but in general for York County areas around the metro and back towards the west, conditions
The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for northeastern Union County in the Piedmont of North Carolina until 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 4 miles northwest of Monroe, or 4 miles southeast of Lake Park, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Unionville around 8:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other locations impacted by this dangerous thunderstorm include New Salem and the northern side of Monroe. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 9 a.m. Eastern Standard.
We're back with continuing coverage here of this cell. We have a tornado warning in effect for Union County. This is located to the north here of Monroe, northwest of Monroe rather, here about 4 miles to the southeast of Lake Park. And it's moving northeast very quickly here, 55 miles per hour. So we're seeing that rotation. And actually, I'm going to move this because this is from the last scan. We're seeing that rotation. Now that rotation has cleared. So that's actually some good news. We're seeing a little bit of a notch, a break here within that main line. Which is what we were watching before. Nice to see that looks a little bit better, but these winds are intense at the very least within this line, and that is why that tornado warning was issued. I'm still going to put a track on this for you because it has shown signs of rotating, so you definitely want to make sure that you are not out and you are seeking some sort of shelter here if you are in the path of this cell and really this thunderstorm in general. We'll be moving into New Salem at 8:47, into Oakboro by 8:52, and Ansonville by 9:03. We'll see if this continues here into Anson or Stanley counties. As of this time, does not seem to be the case, but we'll continue to monitor this entire line for the potential for damaging winds and also embedded tornadoes. Back over.
Speaking of the rain, Nicole, how's it looking out there?
Well, we're still seeing that initial band here that intensified as it rocketed over Charlotte, the Charlotte metro region, the 77 corridor, now pushing east of 70. 77. We did have that tornado warning that we were watching for this cell that was rotating in Union County. Right now, this looks to be weakening, really not seeing the same type of rotation with this storm, but just want to show you, because they have opted to continue it, that we are seeing at the very least some very gusty winds out of this. And we did see that break within that line, and that was showing where we could have some potential rotation. With setups like this, with these lines of thunderstorms, really where you see that tornado threat will be embedded within that main line. And that's also where that damaging wind threat is found as well. So taking out that view here, we do have this line that is going to continue to push to the east. We have some more rain coming in behind, but that severe threat here ending for everyone west of 77. East of 77 is where we do still have the potential here for some of these stronger thunderstorms. Now, another National Weather Service office takes over from where you see that warning in Union County for Stanley and Anson County. So that would be the next area upstream. So they opted to put a severe thunderstorm warning within that line. So track here of that for you. It's actually slowing down a little bit as well. So it's showing just a little sign of weakening. This will be an ND by 8:51, into Polkton by 9:01, and into Troy here by 9:24. So we will keep an eye on that for you as well. Now, we're seeing some strong gusts. We did see some strong gusts over the course of the morning. 40, 50 mile per hour gusts came through, even a few 60 mile per hour gusts. The latest here in Monroe, 33 mile per hour gust, 36 mile per hour gust here in Concord. I just want to take that track out for you so you can see what to expect for the rest of the morning with this. I'm going to do a deeper view here for you so you can see very close. You can see your neighborhood. 9 o'clock, this model really did an excellent job of just lining up the timing of this storm. By midday here, really 10, 11 o'clock, this is going to be clearing away from the area, and that severe threat will be shifting to the east. We could see some thunderstorms develop later this afternoon, although that severe threat will be a bit weaker. What we'll see behind will be much colder air and some very gusty conditions through the rest of the day. Strongest gusts came through this morning for the Piedmont. In the mountains, we have that wind advisory, high wind warning that continues. We'll likely see some 50, 60 mile per hour gusts for you through this evening. For the rest of the area, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts not out of the question. Overnight, those winds here will remain strong, and it will remain breezy tomorrow. Just wanted to show you the chill that's going to be setting up. We have all this warm, moist air over us now. That is going to be fading. Cold, dry here as we get into our day tomorrow. Temps will be in the teens in the mountains, 20s and 30s across the rest of the Piedmont. It's definitely spring and severe weather season here in the Charlotte metro area. Make sure you have the WCCB weather app, download it. You can get the alerts there if you're going to be on the go. And yeah, if you're wondering why so many places canceled school, this is the reason. Bad timing with this line of thunderstorms, with gusty winds continuing through the afternoon and evening. That's your latest weather-wise forecast. Back to you.
Welcome back to Rising. It has been a very busy morning, especially weather-wise. We've had team coverage all morning. Chief Meteorologist Nicole Madden and James Scott out in the field bringing us live shots from Rock Hill. The storm has passed over Charlotte City Center, but it continues to move east. So if you are to the east, make sure that you are careful, especially if you are headed out the door. Probably want to leave a little bit early or just wait until this passes. It's been moving pretty quickly.
It has. And, you know, the show ends now, but that doesn't mean that our coverage does. You can always download your WCCB weather app or your news app, or go online, WCCBcharlotte.com, to get the latest on the severe weather system going through our area. Look for Nicole's face. She'll be able to get you the latest information on what you need to know. But be safe out there, everyone.
All right, we will see you right back here tomorrow morning, dark and early, starting at 5 a.m. Remember, for news and weather anytime, just head to our website, WCCBcharlotte.com.